We have a really interesting show for you guys tonight.
Okay. Is it still good?
Yeah. Mr. Bailey and I, who's going to be joining us in 2 seconds.
Because I'm usually here first.
We're going to let you guys in on, a little bit about ourselves. It's going to be somewhat of an intimate moment for us. The fact that we don't know how this is going to play out is making Mr. Bailey a little nervous.
A little?
I'm okay with it. I'm like, it is what it is. I'm going to go with the flow. But it's going to be somewhat intimate. Maybe 1/4. So the first half of the show is going to be dedicated to Mr. Bailey. And I'm going to let him give you a little inside scoop on what's actually about to happen.
Hold up. This is MaDonna.
Yes, and this is Mr. Bailey.
You can join us at...
So the name of the podcast obviously is called Sex, Love, and Lies, plus everything in between. And my portion of my show was going to be about the sex and the lies. There wasn't no love. And
none. No love whatsoever?
No
Not
love.
even for a little bit?
No love at all. And his portion of the show was going to be...
That's love and lies.
Love and lies.
No sex.
Love it. So, Mr. Bailey, would you tell our listeners exactly what part of the show we're going to be doing today?
Okay, so my part of the show is going to be on reflection. It's going to be on perception. Okay, so I need to give you a little bit of background on me. Born January 23rd, military family. My dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot. Up in Alaska, my mom and dad decided to separate, and I acquired a stepdad. My stepdad is not the nicest person. He was very strict, and I wish I had the opportunity to confront him face to face and vent a little bit about how I was raised, but it looks like that will never happen. So, even though I do really, really, really dislike this guy, a lot of me came from him. Or the neatness, the organization came from him. Which is actually good, because a lot of dudes out there are lazy and messy and...
Okay, get to the point.
Okay, so
I'm gonna have my show.
I'm stalling.
He really is stalling. Like, it's really, the show is really good, but he's not making it seem like it's good because I don't know where he's going with the background. Just get to it.
Okay, so if 13-year-old me looked at me now and decided, this is what you become, would I be happy? A lot of it, could have been there's a lot of improvement could be made, which is going to be made. Some things are perfect right on, and some things, could have been a lot
Can you tell them exactly what the some things are? Like, seriously. No, you got to get to it.
So, I'm going to have my son on to kind of, tell me his take on, us growing up together or not growing up together and our interactions. And
give a little background in terms of your son. Now, first off, you have how many kids?
So I have a few kids. This is my oldest son that I'm going to be bringing on.
And he's how old?
Like 26, 27 something.
Like. You're not sure?
Not completely.
Okay.
But he's the oldest. Had him when I was 17. I moved in with his mom. We had a family until, it didn't work, and then I had to go. And, I usually have to go where the money is, which is usually out of state, so we didn't... I wanted him to come live with me, but, it just never happened. So his mom raised him. And, things progressively, I guess, got worse to the point where we have somewhat of an estranged type of relationship where, we don't talk all the time. And when we don't talk, we're cool with it. In the last year...
So Mr. Bailey is going to be introducing or interviewing his son. And we're going to get very intimate in terms of his parenting skills, his son... perspective on him as a father, and I guess this is his opportunity to learn and grow from this experience. This is why he's extremely nervous, and I'm nervous for him because I actually had a little chat with him off camera. Like, you can't be defensive. These are his thoughts. These are his feelings, and use it as an opportunity to just grow as a parent.
So, with that said, I wanna everyone to understand that the person I am now is not the person I was 10 years ago. Is not the person I was 5 years ago. There's always growth, and I had him when I was young, and it was a learning process. I mean, honestly, when I had him, I didn't know children had to eat every 2 hours, and they were shitting every 2 hours, and you had to buy Pampers like every week. Pampers were so expensive. And there was no.
You weren't around. You did not know that.
No. I mean, I was there. I had to buy Pampers. I didn't realize before I had him how much things really cost.
Okay. So let's go ahead and give him a phone call.
So.
Do you know the number off the top of your head? All right. And his name is again?
Tehran. So
now, Tehran is.
We're in the process of calling him now so we can introduce him to everybody and get his take on who I was.
Calling Mr. Bailey's son, Tehran, who you haven't seen in.
I saw him a few months ago.
Oh, that's good.
In the last year, we've.
Hello.
Hi, Tehran.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. My name is MaDonna. I am your dad's best friend. And he gave you a little background of our show. We have like a podcast that we do every Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Right.
We do record our show, so I just want to make sure that you're comfortable with that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, and he told you the purpose of us calling you was just to have a conversation with you, right?
Right.
Now, are you willing to be completely transparent, or is there certain things that you're not interested in talking about? And if that is the case, if I ask those questions, you can let me know that you're not comfortable at that time.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Do you want to, your dad gave a little bit of background on the situation. Do you want to give a little background on your situation with your dad, or just a background period? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 26.
26. Okay. I'll give you like 20 seconds just to say some things about yourself if you want to. If not, we can just dive right into the conversation.
Okay, it's cool. I'm Toya, light skin, 26, from Newport News. That's it.
Okay, you live in
I
Newport.
smoke a lot.
You smoke a lot. Okay, well, you and your dad definitely have something in common.
Whoa.
You and your dad have something in common. All right, so we want to have this conversation, I guess, as a learning tool for your dad. He's extremely nervous, so just be nice to my best friend, okay? No, I'm joking. I want you to be as honest as possible. So, I'll let you start. Do you want me to start? You want to start?
Yeah, sure.
You want to start?
Good.
Okay, so, have you had the one-on-one experience in terms of dad and son relationship with your dad? Do you remember any fond memories of that?
Technically, yeah. I don't remember what he said, but I'm sure it was some kind of bullshit, if I can really remember.
Okay, so do you have a fond memory at all, or no?
Yeah, I got plenty of those.
Fond meaning fun and loving. Do you want to share one of those?
Ooh, I don't really remember any of them, but I know that I had them.
Gotcha. Okay. What year would you say was the last year you remember having an intimate relationship with your dad? Well, how old were you?
Ooh, I don't think we ever had an intimate relationship. I just remember having some good times, like father-son-ish times.
Okay. And how old were you? Do you remember that age?
Ooh, I'd have to say maybe like 14, 15.
You were 14, 15. Okay, so your dad did play some type of a role model in your life at some point, right?
Yeah, he showed me what not to do in certain situations.
Okay. Now, do you remember when the relationship broke? Like when there was a disconnection? What age were you?
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, there are different like levels to it. I don't think I ever really knew who he was. I know this nigga, but I don't really know everything, and I never really, he was alright.
Okay, so now is the opportunity, because you said you really never knew. I don't know what that never knew is. So now is the opportunity to ask any questions if you would like some clarification on, if you want to get something off your chest, whatever. Like, now is the opportunity to kind of have, I'm hoping that when this show ends, that you guys, whatever the issue is, that is solved and there can be a new chapter. That's what my mission is. But, you want to say something?
So, I mean, everybody needs to understand that his mom raised him, and even though, I wanted to, take turns, having him, it just never happened. And there was a time when he was around for the summer, but, he decided to, go back home and not, stick around. I didn't get a chance to really open up and bond with him like I wanted to, because we only had so much time when we did have time together. So.
Okay, alright. I can kind of sense the charismatic, the Jerome in your voice. So let me just give a couple minutes, right, to kind of like lay the whole groundwork, right, where I'm coming from, right. As a child, I was always afraid of my dad because he was a hothead, right. And then with my situation with my mom, who I'm not going to really get into because I think I've already learned, like, growing up and being the age that you were when you had me, and then being the age that you were when I was, like, let's say 8, or, you know what I'm saying, like, getting older, I kind of see where you were coming from, right? None of the things that you did they definitely came from a good place, and I'm hoping that you can kind of see it where I'm seeing it, because I can see you and Howard and Herbert, God rest his soul, and the pattern, you know what I'm saying? The pride and everything that is just stuck to us on our DNA that we can't get rid of, but I see it, or I've seen it in you and Howard and Herbert, and just, y'all really showed me what my limits are, not limits, but what can definitely hold me back, right? So I'll say, as a child, I was afraid of you, but then later on, I got mad at you for certain things, but then as I became the age that you were, I know where you were coming from in situations, dealing with crazy women, you know what I'm saying? And I get it, right? So there was never any bad blood. There was a time when I'd be like, oh man, I hate my dad. But if I really think about it, I was a really dramatic and angry kid. So as of right now, even though I don't really know who you are, I don't need to know you now, because I feel like we are the same people. We already like the same music, we like the same games, and really, I just want you to learn for yourself and do right by you, because technically, it's too late for me. I'm doing my own thing now. We're just having a conversation now. Ain't nothing to be gained, but I feel like we can start something fresh.
Now, when you said that you were scared to have a conversation with your dad, or whatever comment you made regarding being scared, why were you scared?
Because he was violent. I feel like if you're his best friend, then you know how he can be, right? And then like other times it's like, oh man, he seems so cool and he seems so level-headed, but he's really crazy. And there are some things in there that probably he won't talk about, and I probably don't even know about, but it's there because, I mean, look at him.
What does that mean? Look at him. Well, I will say that we all have a flip side to us, and there are certain things that would trigger different emotions, and one of those things are anger when people act or not act a certain way. So are you speaking in regards to his parenting skills when he was disciplining you, or are you just saying that he was just an angry person overall?
Yeah, both, because I wasn't the best, I did things that I wasn't supposed to, and I also lied about it because I didn't want to get in trouble, but then the way that an angry person would fly off the handle, that's how it is. And the reason that I know it so well is because, I've had my own, issues, and I know that deep down in there, if I really don't care, I do whatever I can to hurt you.
What does that mean?
Like, petty. Like, I'll say whatever. Like, I'll do whatever. Like, am I allowed to curse up here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Really, I'll really fuck somebody up. I feel like I will if I'm really left to my pride and my ego and my anger. I feel like I'll really fuck somebody up. But
now, where is that coming from? Is that coming from a place of disappointment and abandonment regarding your dad? And that's why I want to know, because when you said this, now it's too late. Like, to me, I honestly feel like there's never too late. And as I stated in the beginning, I'm hoping that this open dialogue that we're having is going to have a conclusion. And the conclusion is you guys start somewhere. Because I do sense a lot of hatred. And maybe if you get to know your dad a little bit more and he gets to know you, then you guys can kind of get to a point of resolution and forgiveness, hopefully.
Well, okay, see, that's the thing. The whole, like, the issue that you think, well, I don't know about him, but me, I feel like I'm completely over it, and the reason I say it's too late is because, like, that time to mold a young man into something, that time has passed. I'm already doing my own thing. I've already learned from my own mistakes after I've already learned from his mistakes, or let's say my older brother's mistakes, or even my mom's mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So the whole forgiveness thing, that I feel like that was gone a while ago. I don't really feel like I need to forgive anybody. When people get older, they make these mistakes, and really it's up to you to really determine how you want to handle that. That's already embedded in you. I just don't need to forgive you because it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, but right now I'm cool. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we can already have these conversations, but this one here, it's gonna be a bit vague because, like, I'm already over it. Like, we're chilling.
Okay, so I feel like you're saying that you're over it because you just don't want to. This is my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Obviously, we're all entitled to our opinion, correct? So I feel like you kind of close the blind side to it. It's not that you're completely over it, because honestly, just listening to you speak, I can hear the bitterness and the anger in your voice.
Well, okay, so
based on certain things you said. So I don't think that you're over it. I just think that you just don't want to even be bothered with it. Like, you're just like, it's a closed situation. There's no need to address it. Let's just move on. I don't think it's over it, though, because I'll give you a little background on myself. My viewers know a little bit about me. I'm 40 years old, and I don't have a great relationship with my dad. Honestly, I'm not over it, but if it's a conversation we never had, I'm hoping that I'll be comfortable with it if anything ever happens to him in terms of him dying. So we have a connection there, but I don't think I'll ever be over it. And your dad want to say something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think it's on a DNA level that, like, me and my dad, we had a tough time growing up because I didn't really know him till late, and then when I got there, I thought I knew everything, and then some things went wrong, and honestly, Gloria is the reason we're probably still pretty cool, and now that we're cool, I mean, we can kick it and hang out. And now my stepdad, I've really got some words for him that we never got a chance to resolve. And
this is about yourself.
I know. I'm just saying in general, what he's saying is the time to mold him into a man.
Yeah, but we're past that. I just feel like there is an
that.
opportunity for you guys to have a relationship. I know the little boy and the dad and the guidance and all of that. That part is gone because you're a man now. Do you have any kids?
No.
No. Okay. So that part is gone now. I'm just talking about just having like a relationship with this figure next to me that is your dad.
Right. I mean, when I get down to Virginia, I mean, if he's around, we could be in the same room. We can have a conversation where nothing's wrong. It's just, even though my absence in his life did help mold him into who he is, me having the issues I have in my personal life helped him to avoid those issues. I helped some, but not as much as I wanted to. Now.
So you feel like that's a correct statement, Teron?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, what do you guys, can you give me a little bit of background as to what he's saying in terms of him not being there kind of help mold you? I'm confused about that part.
I mean, a person's experience, be it with someone or without someone, is going to help them be who they're going to become.
Correct, but you are a better person when both parents are stapled in your life.
Not necessarily.
Necessarily.
That's true.
No, necessarily. I honestly feel a kid needs both parents because a mother is going to give you a certain type of love dad is not going to ever be able to provide you. And dad is going to give you a good perspective from a male perspective regarding you because you're his son. He's going to be able to give you that male perspective that your mom can't give you. So without both parents around, there's going to be a void in your life. That you're gonna maneuver through life, and there's gonna be certain things that you do or not do because of that void in that relationship. So, not true.
So let me I guess kind of explain why. Well, I'm not gonna say that I'm better. I'm just different.
Right.
I feel like if in some way that him and my mom could have stayed together. However toxic it would have been, if they had done it, like, let's say for me, then the situation probably would have been a whole lot worse. Now,
why would you say that?
Because the mistakes that he's made to get him where he is made him who he is. I feel like at that point of him being so immature, not even knowing anything about his origin, you know what I'm saying? Because all the bitterness that I have, it has a little bit to do with him. But I feel like I get that from him. You know what I'm saying? So that whole thing, if I had grown up with him in my crib, I probably would have hated him even more to the point where once I left or for college or wherever it was, I would have never wanted to come back. I would have never wanted to know him because that overbearingness of his personality then would not. And plus, I feel like we cannot, like if I have a son, I know that there's something about me that he's not gonna like, and it's gonna definitely be bad if I try to like insert myself in situations where it's like it's not gonna help. So if he was there, then I feel like I would have not liked the person that he is now, and not like the person that I am.
Well, so that's the part that's confusing to me. So why do you feel like if he was there, you wouldn't like him? Like, were they... Okay, first off, how old were you when you had Teron?
17.
You were 17. Okay. All right, so...
And the reason why me and your mom didn't stay together wasn't due to us not getting along. There was something else. So because of that something else, I had to leave because I wouldn't have been able to stay.
What is it something else? Oh, okay.
It's not her as a person. She was wonderful. We had great times together. It's just because of that other thing. It was eventually gonna not. I would have had to leave regardless.
Right, and that's why I understand where you're coming from now. Because growing up, I'd say why this, but I didn't really need to even hear it from you to know like damn, in situations like this, like I would have had to leave, or I would have had to do this, and. Because of who I am, because of you. I mean, I'm not saying it's your fault, but your DNA, my nigga. So in certain situations, I know how I would have reacted when I was that age, even when I was 20. Like, I know.
Well, you guys are definitely leaving us in a state of, I don't need to know what that thing is.
There was an outside concern that would have been detrimental to my health if I'd have stayed. So I had to go, and she did not allow me to, have him, for a year. We couldn't go back and forth to build that type of bond. So the summers we had just wasn't enough. The time.
And when you said we couldn't, what do you mean? She was preventing you from seeing him?
No. I mean, I'm in Delaware. She's in Virginia. The back and forth. I mean, if I had more, resources, I could have gone down more. But I mean, sometimes I couldn't get him up, and
Well, what happened to the break in the communication? Not being able to see him is one thing. What about the constant communication is another. I mean, kids need both. Obviously, they want to see their dad. They want to have the conversation with him. So I understand you couldn't probably get back and forth. But what about the call in? Like, how was your day? How was school? Did you do your homework? What about those?
Okay, so that's probably my fault.
Probably?
Okay, it's my fault.
Okay.
There was an incident that happened where him and another son decided to roll out, and I felt, okay, you're grown? Okay, do you? So, I mean, I wasn't mad. I just let go. And it just lingered longer than it should have. So.
Let go meaning what? You just gave up on parenting?
Well,
with him?
Well, I mean, if you're grown, you're grown.
Okay, first off, all kids act grown. I have a 17-year-old.
Yeah, but you can act grown, but then if you make a grown decision.
But you don't say, okay, go act grown.
Oh, well, I mean, he went back to his mom, and at that point, he was grown. He was a man, and he's going to make his own decisions.
How old was he?
How old were you?
I think 15.
15?
Yo, I moved in with his mom when I was 16.
15 mean you're grown?
I was grown at 16.
You think you were grown at 15?
I was grown at 16.
No, you weren't.
I didn't have any parents at 16.
So, I got a couple things.
Okay.
So, going back to what you were saying earlier about the communication.
Mm-hmm.
I guess from a child to about that age, I can understand, because even now, I don't like talking to people. I don't call my mom like I should. I don't call my grandparents like I should, because I really don't like to talk to people. And we can just we can skip that whole scenario and then to the whole New Jersey incident. So here's what happened, right? So me and your other son, right, we would have these conversations. We were getting older to the point where we know that we're brothers and we know we got to stick together, right? So he's living with you, right, and he's telling me, like, I don't want to be here because, same scenario, you and, who you are and just your ego and your personality, you're very overbearing, and not only that, but physically abusive to the point where, he's like scared, well, not scared for his life, but he's scared to the point, you about to ship him off to, like, military school. You want to put everybody through the same shit that you went through because you think it's going to make them better people, and you're talking about living with some girl when you're 16, and when I was 16, bruh, I wouldn't have been able to handle that. I don't think that anybody wants to grow up fast. You know what I'm saying? All I can do is look back and be like, oh yeah, I should have done that better, or yeah, I'm glad that I wasn't in that predicament. But when I came up there, right, I lied to you, and for that I do apologize. But my entire reason for going up there was to get him out of there.
Oh, see, that was wrong. Okay, hold on.
Who are we talking about?
No, we talking about Rodney. Okay,
Yeah.
So Rodney's mom sent him to me because he's yelling at her. He's doing what he wants to. He's fighting her. She sent him to me to grow up. And then he gets to my house and decides, oh, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Oh, I'm not your fucking mom. This is your dad. All that bullshit you got away with for her, you're not going to... Not that I was a hothead or I was physically abusive, but when when he called the cops and told the cops that, he needs to go home, and the cops came, and then I get home and the cops are at my house, and I got to explain to the cops, oh no, because of his attitude, because of who he is, his mom sent him to me to get him corrected. Yeah, he's going to be a little afraid because I don't like repeating myself. I don't like saying the same thing over and over again. If I say clean a room up, I meant it the first time. If I say, okay, that bullshit you did with your mom, that's over. We're going to go to school. We're going to get good grades. We're going to move this thing forward for you to come to help him out of that situation. You helped him not grow, because he just went back to his mom and did the same thing. And as a man now, not saying that I know everything that's going on in his life with his child and his child being in the hospital and the scare about the baby that wasn't his and the girl that's all that craziness could have been avoided had he had a little stricter, because his mom wasn't strict. His room was a mess. He did what he wanted to do. He went to school or didn't go to school. He needed structure. He came to me for structure. I was going to give him that structure. He didn't get that structure.
So when you speak about abusive, are you speaking about the discipline and the structure that your dad was trying to provide to, this is your other son?
Rodney.
Is that what you're speaking about, Teron?
Yeah, so, like, just the way that he's talking, I mean, like, I don't know if you know, but, like, I can already hear, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he would have stayed there, then it would have been a different scenario. Now, you're right about that. I think I did know, but I got selective memory, you know, sometimes. And plus, at that time, I was young, too. You know, I was only thinking about how bad of a person you were, and then, you know, but just the whole, you know, I'm not going to repeat myself and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, you know you, right? And me and Rodney and a lot of your other kids, we are you. So think about how you would respond if somebody was talking to you like that, and you already think you're wrong. My nigga, you ain't talking to me like that. My nigga, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. But I get what you're saying at that point as a grown man, and you're taking your child and your teenage son in to kind of give him that structure. I feel like you were going about it the wrong way, and I feel like him getting that DNA from you, I mean, like, it's just a whole, like, mess. Like, honestly, I don't even have the answers. I just know what I did, and I know that what I was wrong about, and, you know, life is how it is now. So,
what are those things that you feel like you're wrong about?
You know, how my brother was acting then, and I feel like I did kind of, well, I'm not going to say I helped to make this nigga who he is now, because we all make our own mistakes, you know what I'm saying? I got fucked up by some bitch too, and I'm bitter as fuck, but you get older and you learn from your own mistakes. That's all, you know what I'm saying, I feel like people can do, or either learn from somebody else's mistakes, you know? So him being from that same cloth of, like, you know, that daily bullshit, he was going to make these mistakes regardless. It's better now that he didn't have to go through that stress of you know what I'm saying, dealing with how you wanted to raise him and how you wanted to punish him and how you wanted to go about things because that's what you went through. Man,
no, that's not what I went through. I'm a much better person than my stepdad was. Y'all didn't have it half as bad as I had it.
Can I just say something? Like I said, I'm a mom, and I do have that mentality. Like, I'm only gonna speak to you once. Like, I'm not gonna continuously repeat myself.
And that's good to have.
Right. So, if that's how he practiced his parenting, I don't think there was anything wrong with that.
Right. But see, the same thing that I did, well, you did the same thing with Lady, right, and her kids. I'm thinking that I know best and thinking that I know the right thing to do for my little brother, you know, not knowing the full situation and not knowing, you know, how to even process that on a scale of an adult. So, you know, I just made that move.
Okay, you said looking back on it now, you see where you were wrong, and what would you say that you were wrong about?
I was definitely wrong about rushing in, you know, going into, like, because for one, I don't even want to go up there. I don't want to go up there with some lady that I don't even know. Another one of these jumps, you know what I'm saying? Where she already got a kid, another one of these jumps, you know what I'm saying? So I go up there, you know, I'm thinking, like, how the fuck can I get up out of here and get him up out of here and just not, you know what I'm saying, with the quickness, you know? And then I get there, you got all these plans, you like, oh, you can do this and you can watch the kids, and I'm thinking, my nigga, I'm not even signed up for this. I'm not going to school out here. I got my niggas back home. My plan, I don't know, it was messy, and I definitely, I know that the Russian part was wrong, but I knew that somehow I just had to get him out of that situation, because at the time, and I still feel like this a little bit, you don't need no kids. Like, you can pop them out as kids, blah, 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 but just leave them in a situation where they will be better off. I feel like with your mentality and how you are, and not only that, but I can and still hear that bitterness of like, y'all didn't have it half as bad as I did, and I do that shit too, and I'm just like, oh, you grew up like this, but then I grew up like this, so that makes me tougher, and I'm hard because I've had the discipline and this and that, but everybody grew up different. It's just how you.
It's not that I'm harder or better or stronger. It's just I knew how I did not like to be treated as a child, so I tried to adjust going forward. But then, I mean, I can try to talk to whoever, and I can say the same thing over and over again. But honestly, when I raise my voice, people don't listen until I raise my voice. People don't listen until something gets broken or I go grab the belt. I don't want to do those things. I tried to talk first. I tried to communicate. But then if I have to communicate the same thing over and over again, I get frustrated.
Teron, do you know your brother Quincy?
I know of him. I definitely don't know him. I know of him.
Okay. And the only reason why I asked that, I feel like if you're willing and you get the opportunity to know your brother and you guys kind of share experiences and views about your dad, I think you would get a better or a different perspective on him. Because, do you mind if I tell him?
Okay.
Quincy is currently living with your dad, and we actually had a show where Quincy came to the house. We had a podcast with my daughter and a couple other kids, and he has a really good perspective on his dad. I mean, I think he understands that when his dad get upset is because it's something that he's not doing, and not just dad is having a bad day and taking it out on him, because I don't view Rodney as that. But then again, I'm his friend and not his child. But I do know that trigger you're talking about when he can go from 0 to 100. But however, I will say there is a small warning before he gets to that 100. He don't just go to the 100. But I do know what you're talking about. I've experienced it. Not, directed to me, but I've seen it. But the only reason why I brought up his son, Quincy, is because I feel if you guys get closer, and if you have that conversation with Quincy, he would probably be able to provide you with a better, a different light on your dad. Because unfortunately, your dad had you when he was 17. Obviously, he didn't have that father figure, such as myself. So I know his parenting skills then versus to how his parenting skills now is completely different. And hopefully Quincy can give you just a clearer idea of who he is now as a father. Was that something you think you would be open to?
Yeah, for sure.
So you should make that happen, Dad.
Yeah, I'm gonna we'll do something and we'll come down and hang out and yeah.
So is there anything else that you would like to share with us today, Teron? First of all, did I even say I appreciate you even coming on? I think I did. But in case I didn't, I really appreciate you coming on.
Oh yeah, for sure. We could get into a whole shitstorm of stuff, but I think the bottom line is the person that I am now, it couldn't have happened without you just, doing what you, did. And I feel like at this point now, I'm really grateful. I really like the person that I am now. I still have these issues of anger and this and that. But right now, I feel like, for one, I can't wait to have a child of my own because I would like to test out some of these theories of what not to do, to reinforce a child's, anything, their bad habits, their good habits, what they view and what they want to do in their life. And I would like to foster a good environment for my child, very good and stable, because, obviously we all want to give our kids what we didn't have, but I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty dope.
Are you open to, before you decide to have kids, and again, this is my opinion, we all entitled to it, and you don't have to take it or not, are you open to having counseling? Because just personally, me, I know you said you're not bitter and you're okay, but there's some resentment there. And I don't want you to have a kid to test out those theories. I don't know what those theories are. I don't know if they're good or bad.
You got a hypothesis. You got to test it out, see if you're right.
I feel like maybe some counseling will be dope, and just some type of relationship with your dad. I don't know what it is. Something that you guys, at least some type of communication where you can feel comfortable to call him and say, Dad, this is what's going on. What's your views? What's your take? How should I handle it? One of our viewers would like to say something to you, though.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not going to say who the person is, but they're saying that they don't appreciate your nonchalant attitude. It seems like you don't have any remorse regarding your wrongdoings, and if they were your son, just viewing you at this moment, they will understand why he doesn't want to be bothered.
Yeah. Wow. Who said that?
Don't worry about who said that. Just pay attention to the
okay,
comments.
so you have to understand something about me. I don't, I have a nonchalant, and start that. Has it been an hour? Oh, it's still live. I have it seems like a nonchalant attitude about everything, because I'm like, how much does it cost? Whatever, just get it. I mean, I don't care, just do it, whatever. So it's not that I don't care. I do care. I want to be better than my dad, my stepdad. I think back on, when I was a child and I wanted to, be, what?
How about an apology?
We shook hands.
No. How about an apology?
No. See, that I don't need. That I don't need.
No. It's not even for what you need, and it's just probably just for him to release that, because I feel when I apologize to someone, if I am sincere, and that's the only time someone should apologize, so I'm not going to force you to do it, but I feel when you sincerely apologize to someone, that you're releasing all of that stress. Now, whether the person can accept your apology or not, that's totally on them.
Okay, hold on. You apologize when you felt like you've done something wrong.
You did. You weren't present in his life. However, I understand
that's not something that I could control.
Okay. No. I understand why you weren't present. I don't actually understand why you were present, but I understand there was a reason behind you being present. But you looking back on it now, right? I feel like there were certain things that happened the reason why you weren't there. However, apology is needed, because despite all those things, you had an opportunity to be a father to him. Like I said, what happened to the communication? Maybe you weren't able to visit him as often as you wanted to, but you broke communication as well. The communication could have stayed, and you probably could have seen him once a year, but at least he knew, okay, when I come home from school, if something happens at school, I could call my dad and talk to him about that. He didn't have that. So I feel there's like I said, I'm not going to force you. This is something I want to be completely organic and completely sincere. But personally, I can't go on not having any type of relationship with my daughter. Like, that will hurt me to the core. So I guess this right here, what I'm speaking about, is coming from a parent's perspective and how I would feel as a mom, knowing that I did something to bring bitterness to my child, which is why I constantly talk to her, like, ask her, like, what else can I do as a mom to be better? Am I doing a great job? This is why I constantly have that conversation with her. So that's why I'm saying you do need to apologize.
I think,
if you want to. Right.
No, I think we're built differently. Whatever happened in the past was experienced to make us who we are now, and then we just make sure we're being our best selves going forward. I think that's what it is.
So you don't want to take ownership of?
No, I took ownership. I told I was
of your parts. Take ownership of your parts.
Exactly.
Right.
You.
Yeah.
What is your ownership?
Huh?
Oh God. What? Take ownership of not being present.
Yeah, I got upset, which, was young of me. I was in my feelings, and that part of me was wrong.
That's it?
I apologized about that part.
You're missing the whole... Okay. All right. So, we could probably revisit this in another, because I need to talk to your dad off camera, because I don't think he's getting it. And we have another half of the show.
Teron, is there something I need to apologize about?
You should not have to ask him that.
Is there something you heard about?
Don't answer that. He should not have to tell you what you need to apologize.
What do you mean hot hat? I don't
you
recall
need to
being a hot
apologize.
hat. I mean, I got upset if I, every now and then.
Remember,
But I mean, everybody gets upset every now and then.
Remember, I told you before the show started to take ownership.
I was wrong about that. I said I was wrong about that.
Around about what? What? What are you wrong about?
The whole getting upset about the, how things went down and that breaking communication. I was wrong. I got way too upset. And I stayed way too upset for long. But I'm not really big on
there should never be an but during an apology. Like, ever.
I'm just saying.
Ever a but. Because then you could just keep it.
Okay.
See, Teron, I'm his best friend, but I'll let him know.
I'm working on it.
You know what I mean? That's the great thing about our friendship. We tell each other shit that we really don't want to hear. We tell each other the truth. I don't blow smoke up his ass. I'll tell him when he's doing a great job, and I tell him when he sucks. And right now, you suck.
I can suck from time to time.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Teron, I would like you to close out the show with any thoughts, any feelings, any questions. We could definitely revisit this at another time. We have a second half of a show that I have to do. So this is not me running you off. But I'm just hoping that after this, you guys can have some type of relationship. And then we can bring you on and you'll give us a different perspective on your dad. That's my ultimate goal. So anything you want to say?
I mean, damn, I don't know. I mean, bottom line, I'm not bitter, I'm not angry. Like, deep down, I feel like, I love you, pause, and, I mean, you can talk to me, you can call me, just don't be corny, my nigga. I don't even like talking to people. Just text me, or like, you know what I'm saying? If you're trying to smoke, I'm down.
Alright.
Okay. Anything you want to say, Ryan?
I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you being honest.
Yes, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much.
We'll get together.
Alright.
And we'll set something up maybe like 6 months from now to revisit, if that's cool.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Alright, thank you. You have a great night.
Alright, peace.
Bye. Wow. You survived it. Why are you looking at me sideways? What did I say? What did I do? Alright, my half of the show. That was pretty interesting, right? If you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, you can leave below. Or you can text it to me. As you see, I'll read it on camera. I'm not going to give up your identity if you don't want me to. So the other half of the show is me. My turn. My turn to be defensive.
But what time is it?
I'm going to try not to be defensive. We'll run into it. We'll run into it. That's fine. So, somebody's calling. 1 second. Hey. Hey, cuz.
Yeah, so I think you should pause on your side and let's finish this side tonight because I don't think it's quite done yet.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely not done yet. We just have a second half. I have to call somebody else, which is why we kind of ended it. And that person is waiting for us to call. Yeah, we have a second half we have to do. So, no, you're absolutely right. This is nowhere close to being finished. We're going to revisit this in 6 months. So hopefully some things have changed between now and 6 months when we revisit this. But is there something that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I mean, I feel his pain on both their sides. I think you're pushing a little too hard for that apology.
No, that's why I said if you don't want to. I wasn't pushing it. I was like, listen.
I mean, you were pushing pretty hard.
Okay, sorry. I apologize.
I think his son said what he needed to say, and I think he said what he needed to say. And they seem to have, their level of an understanding as to where they both are. So I don't think there's any need for anything further on that. But I do think that there is definitely some underlying pain there. I mean, I was watching him while he was talking, and, you can see some of that. I don't know if anger is the right word, but you can see some of that inside of there still. So how? Well, I do still.
With all of that being said, why would you think, from Ronnie's perspective, that an apology is not warranted as a parent, someone that's absent?
No, but it's like you said, an apology has to come from a place where you really understand and agree with you putting something out there. And where he is he at 17 years old, having a child, obviously you're going to have more complications than you did when you had yours. And therefore, him dealing with his maturity, him dealing with the situation with his stepfather that he spoke about at the top of the show, you know, clearly he had a lot going on back then, and then being put into a situation which I'm sure was less than ideal, you know, would have created a situation where we, you know, it wouldn't be ideal for parents, to put it lightly. So, you know, I think we both kind of got to the place where they're saying, look, we both did the best that we could based on what we had, and while there's room for improvement, where we are right now is where we are. So I don't think there's need right now for an apology. I think it's to continue working on the relationship.
Right.
And seeing how they can get it back.
Right. And that's why we're going to revisit this in about 6 months. And
pretty...
hopefully, within that 6 months, Rodney and Teron will have a better relationship, and Teron will have some interaction with Quincy so he can get a different perspective on his parenting skills. That's what I'm hoping.
Just be aware that you're not going to fix 20 odd years in 6 months.
No, come on. I am absolutely aware of that. I'm just saying, I'm hoping there will be a subtle or little or 10%, 20% change on his outlook.
I think I'm a pretty dope dad.
Yeah, you know, I just want him to be like, okay, I understand what happens. Because I tell that to people all the time in terms of my relationship with my mom. I love her to death. She's present in my life. There were certain things that was lacking for me. But as I got to know her as an individual, I understand why she wasn't able to provide me with those things. So I forgave her on that. So that's pretty much where that's where I'm working towards. For him to say that. I forgive you.
I was a pretty dope dad.
Yeah. So stay tuned for the other half of our show. It's about to get real juicy. It's my part, yes. And I'm about to call the person I'm gonna call shortly. Thanks, guys. Bye. Okay, so let me give you. Sorry, you want to say something?
I like to think I'm a pretty dope dad. I mean,
if you're gonna be a pretty dope dad,
if I could go back and be my own dad, yo.
You can't be a pretty dope dad based on how you parent one kid. That has to be every child you brought into this world.
My stepdad and I never had one heartfelt conversation, not one.
I understand.
Me and Quincy, we talk every day.
I understand.
Oh, she's at school. I'm at work.
Okay, so here's my half of the show. We're going to, myself and Mr. Rodney, probably him, going to interview an ex of mine. So we're going to get a little perspective, because, you know, I always say I'm biased when it comes to me. I feel like I'm a dope friend, a dope daughter. Well, I could be a better daughter because my mom, anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to get some background.
A dope mom, and I feel like I'm a dope girlfriend when I'm in a relationship. But we're about to find out if I am as dope as I think I am. What?
Okay, so I've
known
MaDonna
to reveal the person's name
for a few years now, and she's a really, really dope person.
Thanks.
I always question why she's single.
Always. He's like, I don't understand why you're single. I guess we'll find out.
And we're going to find out tonight.
So, a background on this person. I think I brought him up briefly during one of our last.
Everybody has a code name.
Yeah. His code name, I'm not going to reveal his real name. I'm going to call him Mr. Home Depot. So we're going to see if he picks up, because he agreed to come on. So let's see. Are you going to tell me?
Yes, absolutely. I got a few questions.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. All right, so just to not reveal your identity, I am going to address you as Mr. Home Depot. Unless you're comfortable with me saying your name. That's totally up to you.
I guess. Is there another name you use?
What would you like me to call you?
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
We'll just go with Mr. Home Depot. How about that? Or we could just go with your real name. There's a plethora of those out there.
Because I don't even know what that is.
Which are you comfortable with?
We can just go Home Depot. Cool with that.
Okay, so Mr. Home Depot. So to give my listeners a little background on who you are, you're someone I dated. What year was that? Was it 2017 or 16?
So it was 17, it was like 2 years ago.
So 2017, we dated briefly.
Yeah.
Right. So to let you know, the co-host of the show is my best friend. His name is Mr. Bailey. He always asks me the same question. I don't understand why you're single. And then when I tell him different experiences that I've had with men and how they're cheated, well, I guess because he's being biased as a friend, he's like, well, I don't understand why a guy would cheat on you because I'm dope. That's what he said. So, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Oh, you said true? Okay, so here we are. Let's find out whether I'm a dope person and what areas I need to grow in as a girlfriend. What question?
All right, so you know we're on a podcast. You know this is being recorded.
Yes. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, cool. Are you going to be as honest and as transparent as you possibly can with your answers? Okay, because I'm an ex. So
Okay.
I hope you're ready to answer. Go.
Okay.
Oh, wait. First off, is there anything you want to say before we start?
Nah, man, I'm good.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, you were with MaDonna in a relationship. Why would you mess that up?
Why would I mess it up?
Because what?
It wasn't a good decision. It wasn't like a calculated decision. It was a dumb decision that I made.
Okay, so just to give my listeners some back, he cheated on me, and I caught him red-handed, just so you guys can know.
Did you stand up?
Why? No, I'm not going to stand up.
Stand up.
No.
Okay, so, what was it about this other girl that...
I could care less. But go ahead.
No, I'm curious. What was it about this other girl that MaDonna left you lacking in some area where this other girl fulfilled that? What was it?
I wouldn't say everything was lacking. There was someone that I dealt with in the past, so I was always familiar with.
You were familiar with that person?
Yeah.
So that was the reason why you cheated?
Nah, like I said, I was just made a dumb decision, so I was just not. I don't know how to say it. I don't know. I was just just caught up. So the person hit me up at a time where I was feeling it a little bit, and I decided to let the person come close.
Okay.
When you say feeling it a little bit, what does that mean?
She wanted a little bit.
Horny.
Yeah, she wanted a little bit.
And I lived 5 minutes away from you, so I couldn't have gotten a phone call that, hey, babe, can you come through tonight? We did not live more than 5 minutes.
Okay. Different question. This other girl, did she give you the attention you needed? Did she cook? What was it about her other than being horny?
Nothing like that, nah.
So
nothing more than that. It was just sex.
Was my sex whack that you needed hers?
Good question.
Nah.
No, you can honestly.
There wasn't a matter of comparing what's better or what's one's better than another. It was just different. It was just the timing. It was really convenient.
It was timing. Because if I remember correctly, how this whole thing happened, I think we were chatting via text message because that's what you prefer. You didn't really like talking on the phone. And we chatted briefly that night, and you said, good night, babe, and we ended the conversation like that. Because prior to that, we were kind of beefing a couple of days, I think, right? We weren't really on the best.
I think so.
Yeah,